You know what? Usually we can be happy on the Win the City podcast with Alex Shapiro and myself, Kenneth Davis. We can be happy. We try to be concise. We try to be rational. And we are going to be rational. But damn, the Bears are legit. All right? Like anything. And if you've been a person that waited to see, because they did take on some teams with bad records, right? Even though they beat them, some of them was close games, some of them were comeback games. And I think now we can contextualize that that growth was real. It wasn't just against the teams that are downtrodden in the league. No. This was a growth of this team from where they are at the beginning of this program with Ben Johnson coming on and Dennis Allen as his co-runner as far as the defensive guy, and where they are right now. All right. They beat the brakes off the Eagles in Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Game balls will be aplenty today. And before I kick it to my partner, Alex Shapiro, right here.
Yeah.
This is what I think we want to say. First, 24-15 looks like they beat a team for real. This was a drumming physically. All right.
Yes.
On one of the top 5 physical teams, at times the top 1 most physical team within the NFL. They out-physicaled the Philadelphia Eagles at home on Black Friday. That Bears fans, Bears players take a bow, because that right there, it's not the end of the season, but that damn, it can be a bouquet, to be honest with you, because if they lost this game and played this way, I would have come here and told you, and I'm not going to say I'm not a fan of moral victories, but I think they're few and far between, and I don't think they really matter when you already establish yourself as a team that is perennially good. But when you're growing to be good, a close win or loss, rather, by the Eagles in this situation, it would have been good for them to see that they could do it, and you would put it on the Eagles being a team that's been to the Super Bowl a couple times in the last 3 or 4 years.
The defending champs.
I know. You're right. But, dog, they whooped them physical front to back in this game. And the only thing that happened well was AJ Brown. I just got to say this, all right? Can I jump on something real quick, Alex?
Jump on it. Jump on it.
I was down in our fantasy league, and it looked like I was gonna I was like 20 to 80. I was gonna lose. I'm like 70 to 30 because of AJ Brown today. I had no Bears fans, I know. But when you win and I win together, that's what's the best part of life right now. Alex, what were your thoughts on the buking that the Bears prescribed to the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia?
I think you nailed it right off the top. They out-physicaled them. I mean, sure, yes, they won by 2 scores, right? You win by 9 points. That's a 2-score win on the road against the defending champs. I don't care that they're missing one of their right tackles. Everybody is hurt right now. The Bears are dealing with a ton of injuries. You know, they got Jalen Johnson back. They got Kyler Gordon back. Those guys were clearly on a snap count. So, I mean, the Bears are just as banged up. They're still without all their linebackers. And they simply took it to them every phase of the game. We cannot say enough about the transformation of this interior offensive line. Joe Thuney, Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, and then also Darnell Wright, and today I am also throwing Ozzie Trapillo. All 5 of those guys were opening up huge cutback lanes for DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai, and they were taking full advantage. I mean, they were hitting the holes with authority, or they were showing great patience, waiting for that hole to develop, getting skinny, hitting that hole, making guys miss, and also lowering the shoulder to get the extra yards. I mean, the Bears completely controlled the line of scrimmage all day. And the result was, it was a game that it felt like the Bears controlled, except for a few moments. So I guess this is what I'll tack on here. I think you nailed it. They totally out-physicaled the Eagles, who, by the way, are a very physical team. That interior of that defensive line, very good. Jalen Carter, you know how Kenneth David feels about Jalen Carter. We talked about it so much the year they drafted Darnell Wright, how Jalen Carter is a difference maker in the middle of that. Still is. Good player. Mora Jomo, no slouch either. You know, that's a good good interior defensive line, and the Bears were just moving them back 2-3 yards every snap. Now, here's the other part that I think is equally important. And in speaking to, the Eagles they have championship aspirations. They're the defending champions. And, there's going to be conversations about the Eagles being broken after this game because of how badly the Bears beat them. Right?
Yes. And the loss to the second half disaster versus Dallas.
Yes. Between the Dallas collapse and this game, there's going to be conversations about the Eagles being broken. But give the Bears a whole lot of credit for dominating and absorbing the punch that the Eagles were trying to give them in the middle of that game, right? It's 10-3. And then all of a sudden, the Eagles score a touchdown. And the mixed extra point was a huge play. But then, there's the Kevin Byard interception. And it's like, okay, the Bears are going to get that momentum back. But then, bam, 3 and out. And now, wait, how did it go? Right? Then it was the 3 and out. Yes. Oh, no. I'm sorry. So it was 10-3. Kevin Byard gets the interception. So it's like, okay, here's the opportunity for the Bears to finally kick the doors down on a team. Then the Bears go 3 and out. And then it becomes 10-9. And then Caleb Williams throws the interception on the screen. The screen game had been working great, but then they sniffed it out. Yep. Hats off to the Eagles. They sniff out the screen. And now it's like, whoa, the Eagles can take the lead right here. And then Nashawn Wright gets the fumble on the tush-push play. Nashawn Wright, who was just showing up. I mean, every week we're talking about Nashawn Wright. So it was like all of this momentum was going the Eagles' way. Oh, man. The Bears have been dominating, but they're still here. They're still hanging around. All of a sudden, they have a chance to take the lead. This is the moment where the Eagles just take the game over because the Bears let them hang around. Bears absorbed the punch and then just blew down the doors after that. Nashawn Wright takes the ball away, and then the Bears go up 17-9, and it's essentially GG after that. It's essentially GG after that. So out-physicaled them and absorbed the blow, absorbed that comeback, and said, no. We still got this. They put the drives together when they need it. They made the plays when they need it. That's about as convincing of a football game as you'll see.
While the Bears are kicking ass all across Pennsylvania this last couple of weeks, last week actually, with the Steelers victory, and then of course this victory against the Philadelphia Eagles, as Alex opened up with the reigning champs of the NFL. Last week, Kenny Gainwell on a tush-push broke for a 55-yard TD, right? This week on the masters of and makers of the tush-push, Nashawn Wright, Mr. Special, Mr. Pro Bowler. We're just going to call it
Pro Bowler.
Mr. Pro Bowler strips the ball from Jalen Hurts. Oh, me, oh, my, oh, me, oh, my. Oh, me, oh, my. What a game listen, Bears fans. The Bears have languished below mediocrity for so long. They have not been meteor. They've been worse than meteor. I would not lie to you ever. I would keep it 100, and some people don't like that because if this was built on a weak foundation, I would point it out to you. All right? They have one of the better lines right now within the NFL, and I'm referring to offensive line, of course. We know it's not the defensive line, even though the defensive line had a good game today as far as pressure and containment for the most part. And you've seen that because anytime really Jalen Hurts got a long run, a hold had to be applied by the tackles of the Philadelphia Eagles. Alex waxed poetic about this. You're probably talking about, if not the best D-tackle tandem in the top 3, and what they do with being physical enough to collapse a pocket, stop the run, and block passes. Like, that's one thing about the Eagles, these two DTs, they block passes. And to a degree, they were nullified. You know what I'm saying? You still got Nolan Smith coming off the edge, almost getting Caleb, and then Jalen Carter getting them, right? So they got it. But for them to beat them down and win the day in Philadelphia, like, that's another thing. That's not an easy place to play football. Like, those are some rowdy ass fans. All right. They booed Santa Claus, but worse, they cheered when Michael Irvin looked like he had a neck injury in the vet back in the day, right? Like, and I'm not calling it cause aspersions on the fan base. They can be unruly, and they ask a lot of their team. Some parts I like the fact that they don't settle, even with the championship team. They like, yeah, give me more, and that's how all fans should be. But screw them right now, because this is about the Bears, Bears fans. The game plan: Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen, but Ben Johnson he always dedicates to the run, but this was they knew what they had to do. They knew, of course, playing in the air, putting Caleb in precarious situations because of what this rush can do. You see what newly acquired Jalen Phillips was bringing all game. All right, and at some point, is now as Donnell Wright is moving up tiers of right tackle, he's going to have to show when he's playing better edge rushers that he can handle it and nullify them, because this isn't top tier TJ Watt like last week. Not dissing Jalen Phillips, but he's not on the tier that TJ is. TJ is a Hall of Famer. You know, like Jalen Phillips is not that, unless I'm wrong. I have to look up his stats, but I don't believe he's
not TJ Watt.
Yeah, he's not walking through the door of the Hall of Fame. TJ Watt can retire now, and he will walk through the door of the Hall of Fame. Dude, the defensive plan, we'll get into the defensive plan, but again, having Kyler back on a pitch count, but you saw the agenda pressure that Dennis Allen used. I'm feeling this. Like, the Kool-Aid is pouring, and you should be drinking it. Like, at this point, I hope you are swigging that Kool-Aid around. I hope cups are clanging and it's spilling out, right? Because, like, you've waited for this. And we're not just saying this to gas you up. You've waited. The foundation is, the offensive line is set. I'm not even worried about age in the future, because we could talk about that 2 years from now when it comes to offensive line. Tackle situation, it will be figured out. And that's one thing. I have confidence. It will be figured out. All right. All you have to look for is a pass rusher now and filling them spots. Like, now it's to the point, and Alex is texting me, and we'll get into the game and we'll get on Caleb's play next. But we always are like, I was like, we got to sign Nahshon Wright. What are you going to do with CJ Gardner-Johnson? Man, you got to you got to try to keep everybody now.
Some of these guys are going to turn into comp picks, though. Some of these dudes are just necessarily going to turn into comp picks.
The safeties have to be signed. Your safeties are up this year. You can't let Kevin Byard
on a one-year deal.
Dog,
we were going from Pro Bowl to All Pro with this guy.
Right, Brisker is balling too. Let's not act like Quan coming back from being that hurt, all right, relearning functions, is out here playing at an elite level. All right. Anything before we jump into Caleb you want to add, Alex?
I did. Oh, yeah. I want to talk about gassing up the Bears fans a little bit more, because and hopping on this Kool-Aid. Here's what I think is even more exciting about this stage of this situation for the Bears and for Bears fans right now. Like, it still doesn't feel like the Bears are playing their best ball. The Bears are 9-3. They're number 2 in the NFC. Like, if you had told me after week 13 that the Bears would be number 2 in the NFC, I'd be like, in sacks taken, like, what do you mean? Number 2 in what? You know? They're number 2 in the NFC. They're 9-3. They have beaten 2 legit opponents, one on the road, one is the defending champion Eagles. And they're still, like, scratching the surface, it feels like. They're still scratching the surface. So Caleb Williams, maybe, are you cool to start getting into Caleb Williams a little bit? So Caleb Williams, like, we're seeing the development. We're seeing the development. Once again, he's making a ton of throws with anticipation, right? He's throwing the ball as guys are getting out of the break, before the guys are getting out of the break, throwing to spots and trusting guys are going to be there, right? This is an enormous first step in his growth, but still things are a little bit off. Still, it's like, okay, maybe he didn't throw it to the right spot, or maybe the wide receiver wasn't in the right spot, or maybe he actually threw the ball a little bit too early, right? There's a throw to Colson Loveland that, like, maybe he actually threw too early. Loveland wasn't ready for it. It, like, kind of hits him in the knees, right? So we're seeing the improvements in throwing in the rhythm of the offense, but still things are just a little shit. It's not super clicking. It's not like They're putting up 40 points every week, clicking.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still dominating a legit opponent, even when it feels like we are at the beginning of this thing. And it does feel like we are at the beginning of this thing, because they are at the beginning of this thing. Like, it's still not they're in the middle of the first season with Ben Johnson. So
Mm-hmm.
if they are making this progress now and winning now, that's where the Kool-Aid, that's where it can get a little reckless. That's where it can get a little reckless, thinking like, can you imagine in a couple of years when Luther Burden knows the whole playbook, when Caleb and Rome have played 50 games together and can just look at each other, and just by looking at each other know exactly what the other is going to do, like have that level of chemistry, that level of rapport, that level of command of the offense, like, and, right, like, now can you see where this thing is going? That's where it gets really, really exciting, because it feels like the Bears are now doing it with the house money, right? If this was supposed to be the build-up year, the first year, the progress year, so it's really exciting in the sense that it feels like they're playing with house money.
I love that you said that. I think a lot of often when people are playing with house money, they can perhaps begin to rest on their laurels, and they are playing with the house money and still, getting back to your point of scratching the surface, they're still growing is the thing. Uh, Caleb was 17 to 36, 154 yards, one TD, one interception, a passer rating of 56.9. He had 5 rushing attempts for 13 yards. So he didn't have his best game, but throw the stats out with Caleb, really, because the last couple of games, what we've seen from him in structure, all right, where he's not playing the hero ball is very minute. It is minute, and he's dirting balls where there's nothing to do instead of attempting something that can cost you, right? He's throwing the ball away out of bounds instead of holding on to it, taking frivolous hits. Like, okay, if you go back to, I'm not even talking about last year, you go back to the beginning of this year, the unnecessary hits that Caleb may have gotten rid of the ball, but he still was taking hits that are he's going to get hurt like that. We don't want him to, but the way to assist him is for him not to take those unnecessary hits. Him knowing when to scramble. There was only like one Caleb super spin today, which is also like so crazy.
There was only one Caleb super spin. Hats off to Ozzy Shapiro. Another solid game from Ozzy Shapiro.
Great. And it wasn't even from Ozzy's side. It wasn't even from Ozzy's side. It was like up the middle. And he sees the defender. He waits, and then he spin. And it totally. And it was Graham, I believe, because he just came back. I think that's who it was, right? So put it on. Graham is old and just came out of retirement, right? Like Ragnow, to help the Eagles out. But the structure that Caleb has been playing with it. And again, the numbers don't tell the story about this game, to be honest with you. If you didn't watch it, the numbers don't tell the story. And the growth that you've seen with Caleb on these stages where when they need him to do it, a lot of the times he did sell some balls. All right. He did that. And that's going to happen. All right. This is football one. And I've alluded to sometimes this is hype.
Also really windy. I mean,
great point.
Jalen Hurts struggling with the conditions. Missed extra
great
point. Like,
yeah,
they were clearly reluctant to kick on one side of the field. The wind was a factor, I think.
But also the way that now he's understanding how to manipulate the offense. He's seeing, okay, like when he sent out, I don't know if it was Cole or if it was Colston, but on that screen pass.
Yes,
where
it was Cole Kmet. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Thank
he
you.
Sends him
he
out.
Sends,
it's Cole.
He sends Kmet out, and hold on to this. He sends Kmet out, and as the heat is coming, he does that Caleb flick where the ball is flying over there until the back's hand, and then of course they get another first down. The passes, the way that he tricks or sells the screen when the blitz is applied to him now, where it's like, come on and get me. And he throws the ball usually where the blitz is coming from. And just having that aptitude, like he's getting to the point that the questions that he calls, along with last year's coaching staff, are evaporating a lot. And I'm just being, if you're being honest, those questions are evaporating. Now,
It's Vic Fangio against Vic Fangio.
Great against Vic. Come on, and we Bears, we know. Look, he's Vic Fangio with. This isn't the 2018 Bears, but with Lori and they got jigged up there. Like, dude, they got all of Georgia players. It's Kirby Smart's players, and they got the nice ones. Like, they don't just got the scrubs. Like, dude, you went and beat them. Caleb, I'm getting focused. I'm sorry because I'm just so
No, go off. No, dude, you're cooking. Go off. Keep going.
I mean, when the pressure was on, he did what he needed to do, and his coach did what he needed to do. When, okay, we're still going to run this ball. We're not going to abandon the run. Well, of course, when it's working. And I want to stay with Caleb, but also somebody I think that the announcers missed out on. DeAndre Swift was playing like he had a little bit of revenge in his heart for another team that threw poo-pooed and let him go. His decisiveness, his juke, right, was so nasty today. All right. And of course, we're Kyle Manon got positive here. The fact that those guys ran for over 250 against the Eagles. And look, Alex was just coming in saying that he was talking to his father-in-law about that both Bears running back running for 100 yards, how crazy this could have been. And then while he was doing it, the announcers said that it was Peyton and Matt Suhey, who was a very close friend of Walter Payton's, that were the last Bears to do it. You said 85, right?
85. I don't know if it was. I mean, I imagine it was Peyton and Suhey. Right?
No, it was Peyton and Suhey. They said it was Peyton and Suhey.
Oh,
I heard them. They said,
right.
Yeah, they said
exactly. We were like, did the Bears turn the clock back to 1983? And then sure enough, it was like, oh no, actually the Bears have not done this since 1985. It's crazy.
I mean, listen, I got, like, if I would get crazy with it, I'm not going to get crazy with it. Because that's the elation of this, just having a victory like this. This was a victory. I was talking to Jonathan Hood, Jay Hood, on his show. And I was like, I think the Bears can win, but if they lose, it wouldn't be shocking, and I wouldn't think it would be a detriment by who they plan on. I did not think the Bears were going to be able to run like that on the Eagles. And I thought that was going to be their Achilles heel this game. And that's why I guess we keep festering on the fact that they were able to do that, Alex. But, I mean, if you don't feel good, if you had bad things to say, and it's not to say that moving forward, there's still not going to be hiccups that all of us should point out. But if you don't feel good after a Black Friday victory, after Thanksgiving, how often have around Thanksgiving times been glorious for us, right? Usually it's time to fire somebody.
A year ago today, they did fire somebody. They fired Blues a year ago today.
I mean, that's where I wish it was warmer. Like, this only thing about it, the snowstorm coming through here tomorrow or tonight going in tomorrow. If it would have been warmer, if it was warmer to go and talk to people. I was picking up my son from his friend's house, and her father had on a Bears cap, and I had to get here to Alex, so I didn't have the time to really to jump into it like I should have. I should have jumped into it because at least I would have had a stranger to kind of engage with, and that's one of the best parts about fanaticism and fandom in sports is that how people that you don't know, you have this bond automatically or whatever. But my ladies, my woman and my daughter were with me, and afterwards kind of watching it. So it was like good that it was like just, and again, you if I was in the press box, I wouldn't be doing that, but I'm not. So I was full on with it because we've all been through the drummings of being below average, having a below average team that we root for. And for them to pull that off in the manner, that's the key thing. Like, this wasn't one of those. Think about this. They've had games where subpar teams, they've had to come back in the last couple of minutes and win. They beat the Eagles from the front to the back, the rooter to the tutor. All right. And they didn't just beat them, they manhandled them. All right, like that's the thing. They manhandled them. Saquon Barkley has been having a down year. He is still one of the top 3 most gifted running backs in the league today, and they stopped him. All right. Like only somebody with a team that good, somebody's gonna pop. So AJ Brown popping, and it would be somebody who, I mean, in the last game he had good numbers, but someone who's had a down season, but someone was going to pop. So that's whatever. But to have that victory, man, it's elation on my end and Alex end to say the least. But any other thoughts on Caleb, Alex?
I just want to point out one throw that Caleb made that hearing Ben Johnson talk after the game makes it even more impressive. And that was the touchdown to Cole Kmet. So watching this game on television, that's the one where he rolls out.
Ooh.
And it looks like he's just got DeAndre Swift for the first down. And I'm like, dude, you've got to get that ball to DeAndre Swift. What are you doing holding on to the ball? But of course, on TV, I can't see that Cole Kmet is streaking free, and he lays a dime out there, touchdown. And that was essentially GG right there, right? But after the game, what's really interesting, it makes that throw even more impressive. Ben Johnson says Cole Kmet's the second read on that play.
I was just going to tell you that.
DeAndre Swift is the first read. So that's what's yeah.
Okay, so this is the thing, watching that, because I was out, so I haven't seen Ben Johnson's press conference, but I sent this to Afton, and I wrote it in my notes. Actually, I want to see what I said in my notes, if I can find it real quick, about, it was an old play. Okay, it says TD pass to commit, not first option, went through his progressions. Yeah. That's what I wrote down, because you can tell that he was going through the different layers. And of course, like you said, you knew the back was the first option. And when he threw it over, I said, oh, snap. He sees somebody. I was gassed when he threw it, because how he flicked it was like, you know what? This isn't I got a window to get it. I got a chance. So when he flicked it, I was like, oh shit, right? But that was my first thought, was like, he just went through his progressions right there. And that's the point of where we're seeing this kid is growing. And I want to emphasize on what Alex, I think, because when Alex is saying, and they ask Alex, you get on me if I'm wrong. I know you're talking about all the players when you said scratching the surface, but he is the big part of scratching the surface. Yeah. Because I thought how some of this from the Ravens game was that this was going to be maybe towards the last few games of the season where we got here. And now we're seeing this where you're entering the rough patch, and he's starting to see it all. Like, for instance, our son is starting to drive, and I'm telling him, don't look like this when you're driving. Look like this. You need to be looking at cars coming from the corners, feet under cars, maybe look like someone's crossing. You need to be looking out, because it's going to be easy for you just to look what's right in front of you. I'm using that analogy to say that's what Caleb is now doing. He's seeing more of everything, and that play right there definitely showed it. And again, man, that now all the talk is, there was a lot of hate. Drake May, we coming for you. All right, there's a lot of we coming for you, Drake May. You jumped up, we're gonna have to push you back down. But there's a lot of hate on Caleb Williams. And one thing I think I've said a lot on this show was we were going to start to see where his ceiling is, and now his ceiling is starting to rise again. Where, because at first it was like, maybe he's just going to be really good, maybe, hopefully, and now it's like, oh, he can be extremely good. Extreme. It's hard to bring him down. Extremely good.
He and Ben Johnson can be. Yo. and as you've said, Ben Johnson is not the offensive coordinator at this team who's going to take a head coaching job. No, Ben Johnson is here. He is the head coach of it. He is not going anywhere.
No.
Unless things fall apart. We have seen things fall apart before, but right now, today, Black Friday, November 28th,
right?
Home. I mean, like truly, it does feel like the sky is the limit with these two together, because he has still done such an excellent job of scheming guys open, scheming up layups, scheming up home runs, remaining balanced, run and pass, making things easy for everybody. And now the guys are executing. And I mean, when you have execution meets preparation, meets game plan, meets play calling, meets play design, I mean, truly, the sky, it feels like the sky's the limit.
We'll get to defense, but look at the backup linebackers today. Like, look, now we're having more reps behind there, up under them. Look how much better compared to kind of being thrust in that situation. I want to say this is something you said because it could fall apart, but I seriously doubt it. But such is life. That's life. Such is life. But this is the thing. We know he's better than Matt Nagy, and I think we knew that coming in because with Matt Nagy, you didn't know who was calling plays, him or Andy Reid. Now we don't need to revisit that part. But the reason I'm bringing it up is there was a window for Matt Nagy. If he really succeeded in his second year, knocked it off, he probably would have been here even longer. But I want to get to Lovie Smith. And you saw from Lovie being a good coach how it extended the amount of time that he was given to try to fix the Bears' issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't a petulant ownership where they just toss coaches out with the baby in the bathwater, right? And to your point, Ben Johnson is, again, seemingly one of the better head coaches within the NFL. And I'm saying this because that's what I thought he was going to be when he got his chance to be a head coach. And he decided he wanted to be a head coach for your team. That, like, they just said he could have been the Commanders head coach. No, he could have been several teams head coaches. All right. Let's not forget that. Was it the Jags or was it Carolina? And one of the, they wanted to talk to him. He said, I don't want to waste your time. Now act like the Raiders didn't want him. All right. Like,
everybody wanted this guy. Tom Brady made it very clear. I want this guy to be the head coach of the Raiders.
Exactly. So with having him again, man, shirtless Ben Johnson in
hot
in
dogs,
the locker room.
baby. Enjoy your hot dogs, Chicago. He's not only handing out wins, he's handing out hot dogs.
Crazy.
What a man. What a man of the people.
What a man, exactly. Real quick, so I want to get to the run game.
Yeah.
Cal Monungai had 22 rushes for 130 yards. 5.9 average, 1 TD, a long of 31. DeAndre Swift, vengeful Swift, 18 attempts, 125 yards, 6.9 average. These guys, every 2 runs, it was a first down.
They ran it 40 times between the two of them.
1 TD and a long of 23 on the Eagles. And this is the crazy part. And we said this before, and these weren't even the guys you thought they wanted to be their running backs.
For real.
Oh man, it's bad with that, man. That's bad for other teams. Dude, now look, we're gonna, depending on these Packers games, so the Packers, man, they balled out. All right, they Jordan Love seems like he's figured it out. The defense was popping. They did. They beat the brakes off the Vikes, right? We're going, look, if that game is close, I care who wins, but you get the point that I'm trying to make. If it's close, and like, okay, Alex, I need you to pull me back. Alex, do me a favor, pull me back. Pull me back, Alex, pull me back. Aren't they ahead of where the Lions were that first year? It looked like, are the Lions really doing something?
Can't pull you back because I think you're absolutely right. I think they are ahead of the Lions the first year with.
They didn't make it to playoffs that year. I think they were spoilers. They almost made it, and they were playing spoiler, I believe. Like, I think they had like 8 or 9 wins that year, but it was like, because I think they made a start at the year slow, and then they went on a run.
Nah, Dan Campbell's first year was tough.
No, his second year. It wasn't his first year. It was I think it was the second season.
Even so, they're way ahead. Dan Campbell's first year, they had 3 wins, and everybody.
Yeah, we were talking crazy about biting kneecaps. We were talking about biting. It wasn't the first year. It was the second. I believe it was the second year that they started to show. What do you have the record for the second season?
Yeah. So 2022, they started 1-6 and finished 9-8. And that's so because we were talking about that after the 0-2 start. But after 2 games, after 2 games, the Bears started 0-2. They are 9-1 since then.
Dude, in his rookie season,
you asked me to pull you back. I can't do it.
I'm jumping. In his rookie season, dude. And then the reason I'm bringing this up because now teams are like, now they scared for real because it's like, damn, I thought they was only doing that against scrubs, right? Like now they did that. You see what they like now? It's like big brother teams, Lions, and just say Lions and Pack. Now it's like, All right, we got to put some spec on that name. It has to be some spec on the name. Spec have to be applied on the name. That's a good part. That's a good part. And everybody enjoy it. All right, because we don't get this a lot. But again, historic running back numbers, as we pointed out, they haven't ran like this since the Super Bowl season. Now, I don't know if that's 85 the year and going into 84, give us the Super Bowl side, but Super Bowl season, we'll just go with that.
Because it was the 85 regular season and it was the 86 Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So, it was that year.
So, man, yeah, that I just got to say hats off to the Bears team. Hats off to Burton, and you mentioned him earlier, showing again why he's out there. Just all the guys, and I want to get on the defensive side. Is there anything offensively you want to talk about any longer?
No.
Okay, so I want to get on a guy that both of us love, but I'm gonna give him to you. All right, I'm gonna say he's more your guy than mine, and I hate saying that because I love the guy.
I get to take him.
You get to take him. I'm gonna say you get to. We're gonna say he's your guy, and we talked about him. We alluded to him earlier. That's Nahshon being Nahshon. Nahshon Wright. Oh my. Al Harris. All right, bringing him. All right. So now, look, you know how, and again, not saying this year, but you know how we used to worry, and Alex talked about this, about losing offensive coordinator. Now we got to worry about.
I got to worry about losing your quarterbacks coach.
The embarrassment of riches. Right? Like this is when it's like this when you get like this, Alex. You know what I'm saying? When you get to these levels, they start picking off your QB coaches, and they start doing all of that. You're running back. Eric Bieniemy may get a job somewhere down the line.
Who's the coach of the year on this team? Is it Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen, or Al Harris? Who's the coach of the year on this team?
It's definitely Ben, because he has to set the culture.
I'm kidding. It's a joke.
I know. No. But I think I'm happy you said that. I know, by no means.
Yeah.
But I want to say this, because this is something that I meant to talk about when you were saying that about Ben Johnson and how hopefully times will be sustainable moving forward. Dennis Allen is your defensive coordinator, and again, he may want another head coaching job. He may not. If they continue to play well for several seasons, he's going to get offered a head coaching job. So, and again, remember, people thought Vic Fangio was too old to become a head coach, and because of the Bears' play, the Broncos asked him to become their head coach. But point being, while he's someone who's already dipped his toes a couple times at being a head coach, you probably got him for at least 2 to 3 years. Unless you got him that long, and he has been balling. And usually there's not the same. Two coaches never coach with each other having this type of synergy already, right? Like a lot of times we talked about with Eberflus was how connected you are to the offensive side, because you still have to coach everything, regardless of defenses you're special. And he was prominent with, I'm a CEO of both, and how much time he spent on the side of the ball that isn't the one that he practiced while he was a coordinator, right? But when you see that the guy that's running the defense it's connected with the head coach like this, man, the lack of questions is the best part right now. There's a lack of you don't have to. There's a lack of worry. You don't have to worry about anybody leaving right now after this season. The season's already a success, folks. To be honest with you, we still want more. We do, but
you should. Expectations change.
Yes.
Success breeds even more expectations.
It does. But right now, you have, unless they just flat fall on their faces, and still there's going to be some enjoyment from this season. All right. But for them to do that, for what Dennis Allen is doing, for Nahshon Wright being a player that was never heralded within the pros, to play himself into a Pro Bowl when the Bears' defensive backfield has been decimated by injuries. And every time he does something, and then, it's not fluky either. That was an I want it play right there on Jalen Hurts to cause that fumble, right? This is an opportunity. And also, I have to say this for Nahshon Wright. This is what I do. Oh, you know what? I do this, right? For him to do that, hats off for Byard to Byard. I mean, it's not. I mean, of course, he he's one of the leaders in turnovers since he's entered the league, right? But to intercept the ball, turnover on your back to make sure you have control of the ball and that your back touches the ground enough so you will not be viewed as being out of bounds. All right. And they're doing this without consistent pressure up front. Like that, I'm just saying, man. It's again. I only got one bad thing to say about today's game, and I'll get to it in a minute. But Alex, as far as the defensive backfields or the defense, was there something else you wanted to add?
I can't believe here's how good these guys have played. It's 40 minutes. We have not really even mentioned the return of Jalen Johnson. We talked a little bit about Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon coming back, and these guys were out there, right?
Great
They
point.
were clearly out there. But then towards the end of the game, we saw Nick McLeod out there instead, protect the guys. Jalen Johnson also, like, it's kind of great that he wasn't noticeable because all of a sudden it's like, wait, you got the guy who I thought coming into this season was the best player on this team. You just got that guy back. Right. You just got that guy back, and you were able to work him into a game where you didn't really need him. Or he was playing so well, and again, like, we didn't see a lot of him because he wasn't getting targeted a whole lot. There was one time where he kind of got beat by beat by Devonta Smith, but then he got bailed out by a penalty, right? Something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. That was really the only time where it was like, oh, Jalen Johnson got beat. He had the great PBU where he was all over Dallas Goedert. Otherwise, it's like one's just doing his thing out there, I guess. One's just out there doing his thing, being a shutdown corner. So now it's like, whoa, wait. The Bears are getting their reinforcements. They're getting their guys back. We saw some moments where they got, right, we had the question of, what on earth are the Bears going to do with C.J. Gardner-Johnson when Kyler Gordon gets back? Well, the answer was play both of them. We saw both of them on the field at the same time. We saw Dennis Allen blitzing Kyler Gordon. We saw Dennis Allen blitzing C.J. Gardner-Johnson, where this defense has been lights out. This defense has been the star of the show, to be quite frank. The defense has been spectacular, so important in the Bears going 9-1 since week 3. And now they're adding guys for Dennis Allen to mess around with. Dennis Allen, who has been so creative in how he disguises pressures and how he disguises coverages. You're adding pieces to his arsenal. It's, again, we're talking reckless because after a game like today and looking forward, it's like, man, it really, once again, it just feels like the sky is the limit.
I want to give this to the future. They can focus in the draft on getting the edge rusher or a 3 technique. And Grady Jarrett had a good game too. Want to point that out. Getting healthier. But man, this is one thing that's kind of negative, but it's just how life is. Boy, Tyreek Stevenson, he better help that Nashawn Wright just didn't push his ass out. Because I'm just saying, like, are they going to let Nashawn Wright go? And the reason why I'm talking about this isn't an off season where you have to spend a ton of money on other people's free agents. Like you're not about to go pay for another edge rusher. All right. So if what's his name? Trey, what's the dude from
Trey Hendrickson?
Hendrickson. I was about to say Dickerson. Trey Hendrickson. If they don't franchise tag him to Bengals or whatever, and I don't know if they're allowed to this year. But if they don't, I don't think they're going to be like, and again, if they did, I wouldn't be crazy upset because now when you're talking about window, that
why But here's the thing. The window is opening because of what the Bears are doing now.
Right.
It's because of what Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson are doing now. It's because of what Dennis Allen and this defense is doing now, where they are forcing the issue.
What the offensive line is doing
the offensive line is playing so good.
How long have we wanted offensive linemen? We've desired this for forever. This has been something that, I apologize, that we fiend for. All right, my only knock of this game, and this is with your quarterback throwing an interception on the screen, all right? But my only real knock, Gervon Dexter, what you doing? You almost left the back door open, sir. And again, I'm not mad at roughing the passer if you was just too close and you could have pulled up, but you were like, I'm gonna lean in a little bit. I'm not mad at that. But when the ball is gone, and his back is turned to you, and you increase your speed, and you gave them entry to try to take this game. And the funny thing is, Alex,
that was on the
past,
touchdown drive too. That was on the touchdown drive.
Right. And Alex, this is the thing. In the past, the whole house would have blown off like Dorothy was up in there off or something like that. The game would have switched, right? It would have been like, oh no, they had him and they gave the game away, but stupid penalty. They didn't have a penalty to Darnell Wright, had that holding, right? That was the first penalty of the game. This was a team that was getting almost 8.5 penalties per game at the beginning of the season. I mean, for the first 7 games at least. So that's my only, and it's more to do with, and first it's a twofold. What the hell was you doing? You could have cost them because this is still the Super Bowl champs, and you don't want to give them an opportunity, particularly where you had stuffed them and then you give up a rough in the pass that was unnecessary. No one pushed you into them. You could have stopped yourself. You increased your speed. I get it, but it wasn't necessary whatsoever, right? And as I mentioned in the past, it would have flipped, but it showed you this program. They didn't let that affect them. That was not going to be where they let the game get away from them. And they came back, and as Alex pointed out, that was a touchdown drive. And it was like, okay, you scored a little funky touchdown. All right. And they sat there and they staved off the champs, and they whooped that ass like it owed them money.
So just to hammer home how dominant this was, right? 9-point win. It's double digits, but it doesn't feel like, oh, you know what? Teams win by 2 touchdowns all the time. But like, just to hammer home how dominant this performance was, I want to run through some stats.
Please.
First downs, Bears 28, Eagles 14. Doubled them up in first downs. Third down conversions, Bears 10 of 17. Incredible, over 50%. Eagles 4 of 12, right? Wait, the third, 33%. Total yards, Bears 425, Eagles 317. Offensive plays, Bears 85 offensive plays, Eagles 51. Rushing yards, net rushing yards, Bears 281 rushing yards, Eagles 87. They got nearly 200 more. They got nearly 200 more rushing yards than the Eagles. You mentioned the penalties. Bears, only 4 penalties for 35 yards, an enormous improvement over where they were over the first several weeks, over the first 10 weeks of this year. Honestly, that was a persistent issue. Eagles 7 penalties, 44 penalty yards. Time of possession, again, nearly doubled them up. Time of possession, Bears 39 minutes and 18 seconds, Eagles 20 minutes 42 seconds. I mean, yeah, it was a 9-point win, which is 2 scores, but they just beat them up and down.
Yeah, look, and I love the fact that you gave those stats. One, and before you gave up the time possession numbers, running the ball and controlling the run, but also the amount of plays keeping that defense off of the field, the Eagles defense, and controlling the game. But I think when the Bears were first sitting there and when the running backs were getting 4 to 5 yards a carry, I was like, ooh, I'm feeling this. They're going to have short third downs. You said 4 of 12 as far as the Eagles on third downs, I believe.
Yeah.
All right. So you're saying with tush push supreme that you didn't allow a team that goes for it on 4th down, but you only gave them 4 conversions on 3rd down because their 3rd downs were 3rd and long primarily.
They didn't let them get to that tush push. And the one time they took the ball away.
They took the ball. Like, dude, they had what was it, 2 or is it 3 tush pushes out there? I think it was either 2 or 3 that they had. I believe they had, because they got 1. But regardless, you didn't let them have 3rd and short. Like, you kept the champs from having 3rd and short. Like, and again, you don't have linebackers and you're ginning up pressure. Like, dude, this isn't easy. Just like this isn't, I know it's happening, but people are busting their what's to make it happen. So let's give them props for being able to do that. For being able to have your best defensive backs on managing the time, their snap count, because you're leading, right? And you got guys that have been coming in and helping the team. I mean, man, this was sweet. And I hope if you're having a down day, I hope everybody enjoys it. But yo, this was sweet, and I needed this, and I'll say why for my extra point. But anything else, Alex?
That'll be all for me.
All right, so let's pass out some game balls. Game balls being passed out. Let's start off with my guy, Alex Shapiro. Who are you giving out the game balls to?
I'm going to give a game ball out to DeAndre Swift, who was just revenge game, incredibly effective between the tackles, incredibly effective in space, scored the first touchdown to open things up, was phenomenal today. So DeAndre Swift, congrats on your revenge game.
I want to give one out to stick with that to Kyle Monangai running like a young Kareem Hunt. As I keep coming up with players to comp Kyle Monangai, man, that rookie and the people that poo-pooed and like, well, they got Monangai, and it was like, okie dokie, man, he was busting your what at Rutgers, and to think how he may be if he stays healthy his second year in the pros in this system. I'll give a game ball out to Kyle Monangai. You got some more, Alex?
I have 5 to give out at once. I'm giving a game ball to Ozzie Trapillo, Joe Tooney, Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, and Darnell Wright. Pass pro, real good against a good defensive line, moving the line of scrimmage again against a good defensive line, against a good interior, creating holes, keeping your quarterback clean. The guys up front, man, they won in the trenches.
I'm going to give it to the guy that they protect, and that is young Caleb Williams. Man, the growth, and I know the numbers do not tell the story of his growth, but if you see what he's doing in structure now on the fly during the season, it makes you feel a lot better about what he could be moving forward in his career and this season. So I have to give one to the painted nail man himself. And I mean that as a positive way, because I could care less if you paint your damn nails or not.
Can we give out more, or is this excessive?
Well, we got to give Nishan Wright and Byard.
All right, I'll take Byard. I'll leave. Okay. Since you gave me Nishan Wright earlier, I'll take Byard right now. Great interception. I mean, just a great interception. I'm pretty sure he led the team in tackles too. He tied Jaquan Brisker for the team lead, 6 tackles each. So doing it all out there. All pro? Is it time to start talking all pro season for Kevin Byard?
Oh yes. And you know what makes it easier? It's not like it's not like the Bears found him off the scrap heap. He was already one of the better takeaway safeties in NFL since he's entered. I have joked about him talking about that this new regime, and this is when they first got here, him wanting to be a part of it and waxing poetic because he's an older player. Yeah. And he has shoved that mess down my throat so terribly. And I mean that in a positive way, and showed that Father Time is not on his you-know-what, and he is swigging off of the fountain of youth at this point in his life. So
also a revenge game. Eagles traded for him.
You're right.
Didn't really work out. Did not really work out.
Hey, we got a couple guys. CJ too.
CJ Gardner-Johnson won a Super Bowl with them last year.
Right.
It did work out for him.
Right. But they still was like, I don't think so. And again, Nishan Wright, always props for doing this for your career. Because if this is the only, and I hope it's not the only large paycheck you get, but you have earned yourself some change your life, change your family life money. All right. And that's always great to see someone pull that off. And particularly that didn't come out of college, herald it like that. In the pros, young man, you've made yourself into this season one of the better takeaway cornerbacks in the NFL, period. Not because you're a Bear, period, because you got that done and your coaches have helped you get that done, but you invested in yourself and you got it done. So shout out for him. And that is the last of the game balls. Alex, any extra points before we get out of here?
You said you had an extra point, right?
I'll end it. Well, you know what? I have an extra point.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to talk after my extra point.
No? Okay. I will make my extra point just Thanksgiving. It's
Good one.
a wonderful holiday. I'm here in Kansas City with my wife's family. It was a really nice time. It's great that it's great that I am at a spot where I'm able to still do a football podcast and also spend time with family, which I don't take for granted
Ooh.
because you make a lot of sacrifices covering football. There's a lot of family time that you miss because of football, because football games happen on Thanksgiving. Football games happen around Christmas. Football is eternal. It's not just during the regular season now. Football is an 11 month a year thing. So the fact that I've been able to be here and spend some time with the family, I am very grateful and thankful that I've been able to do that. So it's been really nice.
I was thinking this today. One, I'm thankful that we're doing this again because I've missed your positivity. I've missed your care. Like you care. The vibes have always been strong with me. Like the potent vibes from Alex. But I didn't realize today, like, man, you know what? I didn't know that the amount of time that I just missed doing this. Just doing this. Considerate. That's what I meant to say. How considerate. You've always been considerate with me, and I appreciate that with you. But this a couple days ago, my little cousin, who's a year and a half younger than me, transitioned, and he was my best friend. And I just want to say to Willie Wilson, you will be missed, and I appreciate what you meant to my life. Now that's it. I'm not gonna go deep into that because we celebrating today. we're not doing the beleaguered and because he would be so happy with the Bears doing this. That makes it somewhat bittersweet, but he'd be so happy with the Bears pulling this off. Listen, we got the pack coming up. We're going to hit you, of course, with a pre-show to talk about the pack and a post-show after the Bears beat that Packer. You know what? As they go to 10 victories. And we're going to continue having a good time here because we deserve to have nice things. All right. We'll see you next episode.